Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our Autumn Occasions card. It's a cute and quick little card featuring some oak leaves and some acorns, perfect for a Thanksgiving invitation, maybe a little thank you card for a teacher, or just because. I've got everything cut out in front of me, as should you. And as you can see here, we also have an envelope that's included as well. And I'll show you how that goes together in just a moment. But I already have everything kind of laid out. This is our card base. If you're new to Dreaming Tree, look in your extras folder. And if it's not an extras folder, it just says solid score lines. We include solid score line versions of our files. I really love using the solid score lines for envelopes and card bases so you don't get the little perforations. Okay, so we're gonna open this up, and this little piece here is just a little overlay for the inside. This is where you can write your little message. If you're handy and savvy, you can do a print to cut using some text in your software, or maybe even the pen tool and have your machine write out a message, preferably with a little single line font. So we'll get our glue on there, mostly around the perimeter, a little bit on the inside, and glue that right into place, making sure that we maintain a nice even border all the way around. Just do your best. That's very simple. Okay, close it up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this piece in place. Now, so the card's going to open up this way. We want the main focus here to be, well, looking at us. We don't want it upside down. We want it right side up. This piece is going to go down first, and just like we did with the inside, we're going to make sure that this is nice and centered with an even border all the way around. So let's get that glue going. Go easy on the glue. Don't overdo it because it can warp the paper. And plus you'll spend ages waiting for it to dry. So nice and thin is all you need. And as I mentioned, by the way, there is a right side up and an upside down to this. These two little swooshes here need to be at the bottom. There's only one at the top. So make sure you have it the right way. Okay, get that nice and centered. Give it a little bit of a nudge if necessary. That looks pretty good. Press that down into place. And if you're a tiny bit off, it's not the end of the world. Okay, next, I'm going to move this out of the way. I have this file here, or this piece here, which you can see, not only did I ink the edges with a little bit of turquoise. This is AC Lagoon. It's American Crafts cardstock. That's the color, Lagoon. I ran this through an embossing folder as well to give it a little bit of dimension. And we're going to glue that right on top of the chocolate color. I believe that's, no, it's not chocolate, that's chestnut. And we want to try to match that up with the little cutouts there, those little flourishes. And do your best to do that, okay? The rest of the elements we're going to assemble and actually use some foam squares to add a little extra dimension to the card. Okay, so go nice and easy with the glue, just like we did before. Try to get decent coverage. And I'll show you a little bit of inking in this video, even though I've already pre-inked everything. And we also, under the Dreaming Tree blog, we do have an entire blog post that discusses inking. Okay, so just try to match that up as accurately as possible with the little cutouts. And in my case, a little bit of that brown color is popping through, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, that looks great. So now onto our beautiful little acorn here, and I'm going to just briefly disassemble it. So we have this layer here, and then we have this brown layer that's going to go right on top of it. So flip that over and begin applying your glue. It's a sweet little card. And I do think that if you take some time to ink it, it will really, really show through and look so much nicer, especially because there's so much color when it comes to autumn. And every single little leaf has so many little variations of color. Okay, so we're going to pop that right on top of the vanilla color. That's AC Vanilla. Now you're obviously welcome to use whatever colors you'd like. If you want to make it as is, We do include all of the colors that we use in the supply list. Okay, so now it's nice and thick, which is great. And we're going to begin putting our little leaves in place here. So just wanted to show you briefly. And by the way, if you go to the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store and do a search for Dreaming Tree, you'll find our app. And in the app, we have go-to tools. And you'll see that we mention where and what type of inks we use. And this is actually just a felt applicator. And all I'm doing is just putting a little bit of ink on it and very gently brushing the very edge and top of this little leaf, adding a nice orangey red color to it. Not necessary, but it really, really helps bring this card to life and more accurately portray what we see in the fall. Plus it just gives it a nice rich depth that you otherwise wouldn't have without the ink. Okay, so let's get this assembled here. This little leaf is going to go right here, and you'll notice on this brown piece that there are a series of little markers to help you with the positioning of each of these elements so that you can make sure that you get everything nice and centered and properly applied. This is a very small, delicate piece, so you don't need a lot of glue. Okay, grab it however you feel comfortable. And I'm going to begin lining it up over here with the little markers. There's 3 of them, right? 1, 2, and 3. And then the rest of it should kind of fall in place once you have it lined up with those 3. So that looks great. And we'll grab the other one. This is American Crafts. This is mustard. This is a mustard color, beautiful color. Great contrast of this mustard on the brown. And then you add a little splash of an orangey red, and it just looks so lifelike. Okay, we'll pop that into place. I'm being kind of slow and delicate with this right now because I know that this video is going to actually reach a lot of new people, and I just want to show you how easy it is to put together beautiful things with paper. And as I've said many times, if you can make a simple card like this, you can make anything on our site, because as always, we always include assembly videos that walk you through the entire process. Okay, so this one's going to go here, just like that. Try to get it nice and centered. Use those little markers to help you. That rust color on the brown is beautiful too, especially in between this mustard. Okay, so then we have a few little acorns to put together. There are 2 of these. This is also a rust color. Just want to make sure that we grab the right one for the right section, as they are not identical. Okay, so that one's going to go there, and this one's going to go right there. And we have a little bit of that vanilla showing through to give the illusion or impression of a little highlight from the light that's hitting it. Okay, so let's get that in place. Try to match that up with that little cutout. And there should also be some little markers to help you with the positioning on that. Actually, no, there are not. The only thing you need to worry about is lining it up with that little vanilla highlight portion there. And that will ensure that you get everything lined up correctly. Okay, it's a pretty small and delicate little piece. So take your time, go easy on the glue. When you press it down, you shouldn't really have any glue popping out. If you do, chances are you're using a little bit too much. Okay, so now we have 2 of these little caps. One is more round than the other. The round one is going to go on the left-hand side. And for this, again, because it's such a delicate little piece, I'm just putting a few little dots of glue on it. And there's 2 little markers here, and those are going to fit right at the corners on the sides of the little cap for the acorn. So just try to match that up as accurately as you can, just like that. And press that down, and then we'll put the other one in place. And the card's almost done. So this one's pretty straightforward. I actually think that depending on a child's dexterity with their hands, they may actually be able to put these together too. It's pretty fun. Okay, match that up with the little markers, and there is that beautiful little element. We're going to flip that over, and I'm going to grab some foam squares here. Move my ink out of the way before I blemish something. And we'll just kind of go out to the perimeter, one on each acorn maybe. one right here, and then let's make it a little stronger in the center. Give it the little push test to see if it's kind of giving too much in any area. I think that little area right there might use another one, and just for good measure, one more there. And we'll peel off the backing on the foam squares. Now, if you don't have foam squares, if you have 3D Zots, which are available at many local craft stores, you can use those instead. Or if you don't have those at all, you can always glue this down flat onto the card surface. But it absolutely does make a difference when you, add a little bit of dimension to it. So you can see how these flourishes are especially situated so that they sort of hug the rest of the design. So we just want to get this centered, and you don't want the leaves to be too far off to the top. Try to get that nice and centered, just like that. I think that looks great. Okay, beautiful card, nice and dimensional. Tons of room for your little sentiment, and as always, anytime you get a card from Dreaming Tree, we always include an envelope. Okay, so here's the envelope. I already pre-folded it. I did use the solid scoreline version of this, so you can see that there. And putting this thing together is going to be very simple. I've already folded these tabs in, so just make sure you do that. And if you are using solid scorelines, I personally would use a bone folder or something to kind of press that down a little bit and loosen up those fibers in the paper. I'll throw a little bit of glue on each tab. And then what I like to do, just to make sure everything is nice and crisp and clean, is I'll take that glue and just with my pointer finger, rub it out to the very edge of the tab. And then we'll take this part here, and all we need to do is just bring it up and press it down. Just make sure it's nice and even, nice and straight. And again, with the glue, less is more. Sometimes if you overdo it with the glue, especially on little areas like this, I've seen, and I've done it myself, these little areas here where you have glue, they kind of warp a little bit. And it doesn't look the best, so go easy with the glue there. Next, we have this piece. We're going to glue this inside to give this sort of a two-toned look. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to put glue on this entire flap, since it really covers the entire flap. Try not to get any glue below the fold, and focus that glue around the perimeter especially. Like that, maybe a little dot here and there inside of that little area. And then take the flap, I've got my texture side out, and just kind of push it up against the fold. Make sure it's centered, hold it there, and then just bring this down and press down. Just like that. And that should sit perfectly. It looks like I maybe got a little bit of water or something on my paper, but that's okay. It kind of makes it look a little rustic. And to take this thing even further over the top, we have a few little leaves here. And as you can see, we do have some markers here to help you with the positioning of these leaves as well. I also inked this. Okay, so they're kind of going off to the left and right. Just follow along. If it helps, take a look at the photo of the project on our site. If you're unable to see things in the video, which I'd be surprised. Should be able to see everything okay in the video. So that one's going there. And you can see that beautiful inking and how it just completely adds a whole nother dimension to the project. So I'd definitely look into that. Our friends over at 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop actually started carrying these memento inks individually, so you don't have to buy packs and purchase inks that you don't really need to use, because some of those packs come with colors that I rarely use. Okay, get that nice and lined up using those little markers. Press that down, and there you have it. Beautiful, elegant envelope, and a very versatile card. You can see it fits beautifully and is ready to go. So that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please take a moment and hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. We're fast approaching about 50,000 subscribers. And while you're there, make sure you hit that little bell so that you get notifications anytime we release a new product, whether it be paid or free, or if we happen to go live. And if you make this or anything from our recent bundle, I'd love to see it, as would the members in the Dreaming Tree group on Facebook. So head over to your Facebook, search Dreaming Tree Group, or you can type in this little URL that you see here at the bottom of your screen. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and also please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where we have over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly videos. I look forward to crafting with you soon.